Hello all, welcome back to my fragrance journey. My name is Ron, and today I'm going to be doing my first empties. Now, this has been quite the troubled track. There was a video that was already shot, things didn't work out, I've been lazy about dealing with that nonsense, and then admitting defeat, and that I just needed to redo this video. So, this is, a long time coming actually. It's been a few weeks in the making. So let's hope I enjoy this in the end. But anyway, yeah, I wanted to do an empties. I've got some fragrance things that I've used up. I've got some other things that I've used up. And I always love these types of videos on just about anything that I tend to purchase, whether it's makeup, fragrance, hair care, food. I just think any empties are cool. I think it's great to hear somebody's fullest thoughts. So, they've gone through the whole process of owning something. What do you think? Was it worth it? Would you get it again? It's just interesting to me. Thus, I thought I would share what I've got. Now, since I do have a mixture of things, I am going to do the fragrances first, just in case, as I imagine most of you are. If you're just here for the fragrances and only the fragrances, we can get through that and you don't have to waste time. But I'll let everybody know once we're done with those, and if you're interested in my other trash, we'll go over that as well. So the first fragrance up is 90s Couture by Cher. I'm going to keep these pretty zippy because I do have a fair few things to get through. This is vanilla heliotrope, primarily vanilla to me. This is very much living up to its name, very 90s in the way that vanilla comes off, more on the perfumey, what we currently think of gourmand sort of things, not an edible vanilla necessarily, but really, really gorgeous. Great for bedtime, but also great anytime. Very affordable find. I got this travel size for around $3 from a seller on Walmart, and they seem to be pretty inexpensive everywhere I had seen them. And then the full sizes, they're like a 30 mil. They're about $10 even from like Fragrance Net and places. So very affordable, but a really great scent regardless of it being so inexpensive. That's just a bonus. But either way, I absolutely will repurchase this, and I actually need to do it soon. So that is 90s Couture by Cher. Now, I'm going to go ahead and show two things at once because they're kind of the same thing, kind of not. First, I have this sample that I got from Sephora of Coco Mademoiselle Intense by Chanel. This is patchouli, floral, I don't remember all the notes. It's very chic. It's very much like a modern Chanel situation. It gives me very much the, not just Chanel DNA, but the modern version of it for like their newer releases. That's what this is, and it's really pretty. I love it. I want a full bottle for sure. In the meantime, though, because a full bottle is like $150, I was trying some different things from Valerie's Uncommon Scents. I've talked about them before. I've got like, I think, a dedicated video. They are perfumes or fragrance oils essentially that they sell in a number of different formats. So you kind of pick what scents you like, and then you choose if you want it in like a 10 ml roller ball like I have here, or if you want a perfume spray, a lotion, a room spray, whatever. They've got all kinds, and you just get, whatever scent in whatever format you want. Well, these little 10 ml roller balls of the perfume oils are always very inexpensive, like usually $5 or less. She's always got offers going. And so, yeah, I picked up this one in my first order because it's based on the original Chanel, or the Coco Mademoiselle from Chanel. And so even though the version I sampled was the Intense, they've got a shared DNA as far as I understand it. So I thought, well, this will be interesting to try a dupe and kind of see if it'll kind of tide me over until I buy the full size. And really, yeah, it's working for that. This isn't the same scent, especially compared to my Intense version that I have, but it's enough that it's been nice to kind of get me through until I pick up the full bottle. But yeah, that is Coco Mademoiselle Intense sample from Chanel, and I do plan to buy the full bottle when I can, and then the Coco Mademoiselle type from Valerie's Uncommon Scents, and I would absolutely repurchase this again as well, probably in the same format. And then we have Peche Chantilly from Ulric de Varens. This is part of their Varens Sweet Light line, and I liked it. It's okay. It is like the name says, it's a peach cream situation. So lactonic, peachy. The peach is somewhere between a natural peach and an artificial peach. So it's kind of candied, kind of natural, not overly sweet though. It's definitely more creamy than sweet. It's also a very light fragrance and it's very short lived. I just started treating it like a body spray. I think that's kind of how I went through it so fast because it was really easy just to like douse myself in and I was never wearing too much. And I often, yeah, wanted just a little bit more out of it. So I think the fragrance was fine, but it is pretty light. And so for that reason, given the size of it, even though this is overall fairly inexpensive, depending on where you go, anywhere from like 7 to like $15, I still would rather just buy a body spray in something, in a scent like this and get 3 times the amount probably for the same type of price. So yeah, it's okay. And that is Peche Chantilly from Ulric de Varens. And for my final fragrance, I have Vanilla Candy Rock Sugar by Kayali. I've got a dedicated video to this that I did not too long ago. I've mentioned it ad nauseum this year, so I don't think it's any surprise that it's in my empties. In fact, in my Kayali video, or my Vanilla Candy video, I think I did show this. So this bottle, as you see, is quite bedazzled. My bestie and roommate, she loves to rhinestone things, and at one point needed a project, and so we came up with doing a perfume bottle, and I knew of all my bottles that this had to be the one to get such a fabulous treatment, because nothing, I think, screams covered in rhinestones like a Kayali bottle, and especially Vanilla Candy Rock Sugar. So what is this fantastic scent that I love so much? It is sweet, truly candied pear. It is vanilla in the warmest, gourmand, gorgeous way, but then all around the edges of everything are florals, and so it stops it just from being cloying. It stops it just from being too gourmand, and there is just a touch of a perfumey element. I love it for really any time, but especially, as I've said many times, for the evening, for bedtime, and that's why I've gone through it so fast, because for all the fragrances I have, the evening fragrances are the ones I wear the most consistently, but yet it's the smallest amongst my collection of things that I typically turn to for the evening, and Vanilla Candy Rock Sugar, again, is top amongst those. And so I've gone through this 50 ml. It's now bedazzled. It'll never actually be disposed of, even though it's an empty. It's now an art piece. And I have since repurchased, happily, 100 ml that is already growing with, or has a little dent growing, so we'll see. Hopefully I don't get through that next year, but we'll see what happens. I do love it. So this is Vanilla Candy Rock Sugar by Kayali. Alright, so now we're going to get into other things. I've got a random assortment of hair care, skincare, makeup, all sorts of things, so I'm just going to grab them at random and talk about them. So first up, I have the Laneige Lip Sleeping Mask. This is in the flavor Peach Iced Tea. I have used Laneige for years and years. I've had great results. I love it. However, a few months ago, my lips had a real freak out. They started out getting very tight, specifically my top lip, but then within a couple days, my bottom lip too. And it got very, very tight. It wasn't dry. It wasn't chapped. It wasn't cracked. I was using my Laneige. But they just got very tight, and then they started to get, not quite sores, not quite like dermatitis, not quite like pimples. I don't know. I'm not gonna get too TMI, but I started to get that on my lips, not my lip line, not like a cold sore, again, not like dermatitis, but just on my actual lips, just a few. And then right when I got to the point of considering just getting it checked out because I was a little concerned, it all kind of went away. With that, had stopped using this, and so I don't think this had triggered it. I mean, this particular jar, I've literally only got a few uses left, but I did stop using it because it was right around the flare-up, and I just didn't know what was going on with my lips, and I kind of switched to less, like, fragranced and what have you things, and so I haven't gone back because, again, I don't know exactly what was happening, and I've just been a little, like, terrified, and what I've switched to, which I'll talk about next, has been working so well. I just haven't felt the need. But I do like Laneige. So I would consider repurchasing, but not anytime soon. So that is the lip sleeping mask in sweet iced or peach iced tea. Okay, so the hero product. I'm not going to wax too poetic, but I probably could. This is Cicaplast Lips by La Roche-Posay. This is what I started using, again, when my lips were going haywire. I don't think this cured it. I think it just simply didn't exacerbate the issue, and I have not had any repeats since while I've continued to use this. So while I don't think that this was like the cure, it's just not giving me any further grief, and additionally, my lips have stayed very hydrated, just as good, if not even maybe a little better sometimes than the Laneige. And yeah, I really like this. And so, it's no discernible fragrance, flavor, anything like that. It's just clear. It, sinks in pretty well with just a little bit of a coating so your lips feel moisturized, but it's not like some occlusive Vaseline situation. It's not sticky. I have gone through many tubes of this. I will say the packaging is frustrating. As you can see, mine is like flat as a pancake. You really want to be aggressive about squeezing every last drop out because there is so much left long after you would think it's empty. You could even probably cut it open. I'm not that aggressive with it, but yeah, definitely the packaging is a little bit annoying, but otherwise this is great. I've gone through many tubes. I've even gifted a tube to a friend and they've loved it. It's so good and it's pretty affordable too. So yeah, Cicaplast Lips by La Roche-Posay, my new lip hero product. And then finally, because might as well do all the lip things, this is the Calm Conditions Lip Balm by Phytosurgence. This is in the shade Distant Depths. So these are tinted lip balms. These are more of what I wear when I am maybe going out and about and I do want a bit of a makeup moment, but I don't really want makeup. I don't really want to wear a lipstick or a lip gloss even. These are great. So they are hydrating, they are sheer color. As you can see, it's a very deep brown in the tube, but it's a pretty light color once it's on your lips, and I think it's just beautiful. It wears well. It is, again, hydrating, not as much as like the Cicaplast or even the Laneige, so I wouldn't use this for like heavy duty cold weather perhaps, or if I had a lot of like repair to do on my lips, this may not be my first choice, but definitely for wearing daily just as like a lip color, that sort of thing, or just something, yeah, to keep on the go in your handbag or what have you. These are nice. So again, this is the Phytosurgence Calm Conditions Lip Balm in the shade Distant Depths. Okay, really trying to zip through these because I still got a bit more. So this is not lip care, finally. This is makeup. This is Lash Like a Boss Mascara by Essence, the lift and curl version. No, it does not lift. No, it does not curl. However, I love it and I would repurchase it because it is surprisingly incredibly black, incredibly charcoal black. It also does a really nice job of definition while still adding some volume and still accentuating length. I enjoy all those things. Again, doesn't lift or curl, but I've also learned that nothing really does anymore for my lashes. While they once were gorgeous and curled naturally in my youth, that is no longer the case. They basically are straight, and so I have to use my actual curler to get them standing to attention, and then if I really want it to last, I have to add my Estee Lauder Little Black Primer, which is water resistant and will hold the curl. No actual mascara does that these days. Some are better about maybe not fighting it as much. This one kind of in the middle. I wouldn't say it absolutely ruins it, but my curl will not last if I don't have them. It won't be curled if I don't actually curl them, and then it won't last if I don't put the primer on with this on its own. So yeah, I do like it. I would repurchase. I'm currently working through a different mascara that I have by L'Oreal, but I honestly kind of miss this one. So I definitely am considering repurchasing this Lash Like a Boss from Essence. And there is a different version in a pink tube. I don't know about that. All I can speak to is this one here in this amazing metallic chartreuse tube. Like chartreuse and metallic finish, it doesn't get better than that for me. So anyway, good mascara. Okay, random thing here. This is toothpaste. This is the Colgate Total Plaque Pro Release with Smart Foam toothpaste in this very bougie little tube, I would say. I do love this toothpaste. I've gone through many tubes. I have I've got one going right now and a backup because there was a moment where I thought it was maybe being discontinued. I like it that much, and honestly, if at any point I do think it's truly being discontinued, I would maybe buy several tubes. I really enjoy this. It cleans my teeth. Supposed to. That's what it does. I do find, though, it also does definitely help with plaque. This is very minty, not painfully so, but almost. This is quite minty, I find. Definitely, especially the longer it sits as I'm brushing. Like, ooh, towards the end, ooh, we get a little spicy. But yeah, really like it. Have repurchased. Will continue to repurchase. And yeah, this is the Plaque Pro Release, or Total Plaque Pro Release from Colgate. And another Phytosurgence product now. This is the Verdant Forcefield Restorative Moisturizer. I got this about, a little over a year ago, and it just started to give out around the year mark. So luckily that coincided with them having their Black Friday sale. So I I would have picked up one full price, but I definitely snagged it while it was on the sale amongst a few other goodies. And so, I have repurchased and will continue to repurchase. So, context of my skin, I am 38. I have combination skin. It's predominantly oily, but I do definitely have some dry patches. I am not looking for any particular benefits in my moisturizer other really than hydration itself, lasting hydration. I'm not looking for it to do the work of my serums and other products, nor am I looking for any anti-aging nonsense. I don't really believe in that. I mean, you can try, but I just don't believe in that. I believe in taking care of the skin that I currently have for whatever stage of life that is, and there we are. Won't get on that soapbox. I also don't believe in greenwashed crap, and that's luckily not the case with anything Phytosurgence, even though you might expect it from a very small indie operation in Canada. It's like literally two people. You might expect that they would go that way, but no, they actually understand science, and they understand that products actually have to work and not expire in 6 weeks. But anyway, that's another soapbox I'm going to step back from. But yeah, this just works really well. It absorbs quickly. It doesn't leave any weird residue or stickiness. It is gentle enough for me to use right after I have shaved, which is when my skin is most sensitized, but it doesn't have a problem with this moisturizer. It is literally living up to its name. It is quite verdant. There is green tea or matcha powder in this, so it does have a noticeable green color and a green tea scent, but it's light, and I find it really pleasant, and I don't find that the green color leaves any sort of odd cast to my skin. It just absorbs like any other moisturizer. But yeah, really love this. Again, have repurchased, will continue to repurchase, and that is Verdant Forcefield Restorative Moisturizer from Phytosurgence. Now I've got the EOS Cashmere Body Wash, or Shea Butter Cashmere Body Wash in the Vanilla Cashmere scent. I liked this. This, it's body wash. This wasn't anything to maybe write home about, but it did what it says on the tin. It got me clean. I didn't feel stripped of moisture, but I also didn't feel like there was lingering residue or anything. It just got me clean. And the scent, I don't know that I got a vanilla cashmere thing, perhaps. Just kind of a soft, comforting sort of vanilla scent. Kind of in the middle. I wouldn't call it light, and I wouldn't call it too heavy. Just somewhere, medium there. And I did not repurchase. I went to a seasonal one that I've got currently from Olay. I really do like Olay body washes. I have for years. So they had a seasonal offering I couldn't pass up, which I'm sure will be in another Empties. But yeah, I would consider repurchasing this one, and especially if it was maybe on a great deal or something like that. I might grab a couple more, maybe try a different scent. But yeah, not bad. Again, Shea Butter Cashmere Body Wash by EOS in the Vanilla Cashmere scent. And then finally, I have the L'Oreal Paris Elvive Hyaluron plus Plump 72-hour hydrating shampoo. What a mouthful. I like this. This is simple, straightforward. It cleanses my hair. I don't necessarily know that it's imparting extra moisture. It is a shampoo after all, but it definitely is not stripping my hair, but still, like I said, cleansing. I have hair that amongst all the issues one could have, primarily my issue is that my hair gets very oily very quick. I do not use this to cure that problem. It is my genetics. I've long since accepted it after trying many things for many years. It's fine. I say that also because I know someone's going to chime in with their tip or trick, and I appreciate that, but I really have tried them all and just accepted it. So what do I need from a shampoo? I need it to cleanse all that oil, but also, again, not strip me so that it doesn't make it worse. You know, my body isn't trying to, or my scalp isn't trying to overcompensate by being overly cleansed. So this just hits that middle ground perfectly. It's very cheap and cheerful, like $6 on Amazon, and I love it. All that said, funnily enough, I am actually trying out a different shampoo because I'm always curious, but at the same time, I also have this one in the shower still. I have a repurchase of this because I've purchased this many times. And yeah, if the new one I'm trying out just doesn't ultimately work out when I'm done with it, I'll continue to use this one and continue to repurchase because it does what I need to. And so yeah, that is the L'Oreal Elvive, too many other things to say after it, shampoo. And there we are. That's my trash, my junk, my empty stuff I've used up. If you have tried any of these things and you have any opinions, any which way, good, bad, or otherwise, definitely let us know down below. If there's anything you've recently finished up that you want to rave or rant about, also feel free to hit us up down below. I love the little, chatter down below and joining in on those comments. You all are so lovely in the comments that you always leave. Of course, other YouTubey things. If you liked this video, you like my videos in general, first off, what's wrong with you? But second of all, thank you, and I would very much love a like on the video or a subscribe. It's all little numbers that mean nothing to pretty much anybody, but I enjoy seeing them grow. Any which way, I thank you all so much for joining me as always here on my fragrance journey. I hope you're having a great rest of your day. Take care, and I'll speak to y'all in the next one. Bye.